This. Welcome back for the question and answers. Yeah, Griffin had to dip out. We're still raising money for Doctors Without Borders. We've raised a total of $1,193.61. If you are watching this live on Twitch, exclamation point MSF to get the link. So, all right, let's get started with the questions. We have a total of too many questions. I'm going to pause these redemptions because holy balls. 33 redemptions.
Oh.
33 questions.
No
we'll
problem.
get through this.
All
we'll get through
right.
this. Yeah. When's the? I think the next one's at in an hour. We've got about an hour to do this.
Good luck.
Yeah, we'll get through it. We'll get through it. I think a lot of these are probably repeats too. Okay, Jinatak asks how many MPUVs fit in a Liberator. Everyone. That's why it's the superior ship of all time, because you can fit like hundreds of those things on it. Like
every MPUV in existence.
It is the superior ship next to the Merchantman.
Next to the Merchantman, yes. Okay. Let's start with the first question. Comes from Jodo Knight, who asks, when will we stop losing our credits when they do a new release? I mean, to be fair, the latest wipe they're doing, that is like
18 months.
Yeah, it's been 13 months since that happened, so or 19 months.
Since 3.8.
Yeah.
18 months.
18 months. So yeah, like I don't anticipate another one of these wipes until major stuff changes. Thank you so much, CC Creator, for that $20 donation as well to Doctors Without Borders. Thank you.
I think the question is when will it stop wiping, right? I'm saying close to launch.
Yeah, I agree. I think close to launch will probably be. I don't see them, but like 3 or 4 more wipes for like necessary wipes. And they even said that they don't want to. They at this point they don't have to do major wipes. They can just do systematic wipes, like all of your stuff or all of your credits or all of your reputation. So,
do you think? So you guys said that you think they'll stop near launch. Do you think that they will wipe and be like, game is out, game is good, like you guys are permanent? Or do you think they're going to wipe and then over the next couple months just transition into it? Like, do you think they're going to do the wipe at launch?
Yeah.
I think my prediction is that around Operation Pitchfork, which is supposed to be at the end of beta, we'll probably have a wipe just before that. And then everything we do for Operation Pitchfork will count and be in lore, and then the game will launch. That's I guess that's more my hope than prediction, but yeah.
Yeah, something like that will probably happen. There'll be some event that they do where it's that it'll be like everything after this is fine.
You're essentially playing early.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully this is good. I'm trying to save the changes, refresh this. The alerts were coming in weird, so I want to make sure that they could fit.
Doing it live.
All right. Let's go with the next question. What are your views on the lack of game content / Theaters of War? From CitizenCon. What do you think, Space Tomato?
I think they're just not done with it. Whatever it is they're trying to do with that, they want it to be a very polished experience, apparently, and they don't feel like it's ready. I think maybe they've finally... If anything, this CitizenCon has proven that they need to not show things that are far out, and it seems like that's what they did. They don't want to show Theaters of War because it's more than, I would say, at least a few quarters away, and they want to make sure that when it gets shown, it's actually good enough for people to judge it on and not just be like, okay, I guess this might be good in a year. Like, they need to actually release Theaters of War in a way that impresses people. And so they're probably just holding it close to their chest. There's just development stuff going on. Whatever is going on over there is probably affecting Squadron 42. So the fact that we're not seeing it doesn't really bother me that much because that doesn't say much about its development, I don't think.
Okay, what do you think, Fesco?
I think they're probably using Jumptown as a precursor to help them build out, make Theater of War better. Because they're going to probably use the data that they get from the Jumptown 2 and improve, help them finish up the Theater of War. That makes sense?
Yeah, I'm trying to see how you see that though. What do you mean by that though?
I mean, the, like they said that their genome threat, for example,
Yeah.
they use the data from the first genome threat to help improve them and to make genome threat 2 better. So they're going to take the data that they have from Jumptown, or even Ninetales, the data they get from that, and hopefully that'll help them make data more quicker.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Down the
I could
line.
see something like that. I could see something like that. Yeah. The reason it's just not ready. Like I don't think we're gonna see Theaters of War until they have server meshing in, or until they deal with some of the desync issues, which is after server meshing. It's just performance isn't good. No one would play a Battlefield clone if it was garbage. That's just the answer. So.
What do you mean? There are a ton of people playing 2042. I'm kidding. I haven't even played it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It was too easy.
I was gonna say except for Star Citizen fan, because we love the game. So yeah.
MSF, Bijan. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think there was a lack of gameplay content in CitizenCon. I think it's a myth. I think people just got angry that the gameplay they showed was very focused on FPS, and people were like,
and I don't get how
salvage?
people are saying I look at how people saying it was fake. Like, how do you, what? Have you never seen? Well, people haven't seen CitizenCon before, but they always do a live demo, and this was their live demo. And
wait, people thought this was. People were saying this was fake.
Yeah. They still say it every year, but this for sure.
Oh, they do.
Is fake. Yeah.
This looks like this basically looked like 316.
Yeah.
They didn't even show the medical gameplay that we're already playing in the game. How does this look fake? Oh yeah.
Because the guy changed into a different outfit and then walked out and nobody noticed him. It's like, have you not
all
played
of the things
that
they normally would.
Hitman? I mean, that's Hitman the game, guys. Like, this is a game. Like
all the things they normally would fake, they didn't. They didn't make him put on a jacket with a custom animation. They didn't like make him pull cloth off of a desk because that's not working. So they didn't put it in. Like I understand not being excited about the things that were shown, but how are you gonna look at this and be like, oh, it's fake? They can't do that. What?
Yeah. the entirety of the first presentation was content, and then that live gameplay demo was content. That was in the game. If you're saying that's fake, I don't know what to help you with. Like, that's the game right now, practically.
I mean, if that's fake, then yeah, then 314 is fake, right?
Yeah. Then we're right now. Everything's fake. I'm fake. You're fake. The whole thing is fake. Like, there's only so much I'll take that fake argument where it's like, oh, there's no gameplay. It's like, at a certain point, if you're just like, oh, well, CIG said it, so I don't believe it. It's like, then everything is fake to you. Even the game now is fake.
I mean,
like,
Paul, you are a CIG employee after all.
Of course.
You're getting paid. They're paying you every time you say something good.
Yeah. Because CIG gave me ships. It gives me ships every so often.
Man, somebody once said that I was getting paid by CIG. I was like, oh, they need to pay me more because I can't even pay rent yet. It's like, I would love if they were paying me.
Yeah.
I'm freaking streaming in my sister's childhood bedroom.
I mean, I get people are get paid to stream some games. If people were being paid to stream games and didn't disclose it,
you should say that. Yeah.
You would get into some serious trouble with the FTC or your local tax officials, or local fair competitive. So if you honestly believe that someone like me is being paid by CIG like under the table, then you should report me. And nothing would happen because I'm not getting paid by them. I'm telling you, when CIG gives me ships to give out, that's true. But that's a really serious like accusation to make. It's saying someone's being paid by a company. It's like, do you have proof? Because if you don't, that's just you being a shitty asshole. So
it's kind of annoying too.
Yeah, it's also really like insulting because it's like it promotes this conspiracy theory belief that Star Citizen is constantly failing or a scam. It gets exhausting, You
mean it's not? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Next question.
Next question. Pixel Gamer 505 asks, do you think the Liberator is the teased Anvil ship from ILW? I'd imagine not, because it's supposed to have high tech, which is Brick definitely isn't. No, I think it is. I think it's the teased ILW ship. But we'll see. What do you think? Do you think we're going to see another Anvil ship? The teased ILW capital or big ship?
Is that Invictus launch week?
IOW?
Yeah, that Invictus launch week?
Oh, ILW.
ILW,
Paul?
yeah. ILW.
Okay, I thought you said IOW. I was like, what is that? That was the one that people were theorizing was going to be called the Longbow?
Oh, I remember now. There was a thing in the hologram. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, the theorized longbow, you know.
Oh.
And
I don't know.
I don't think so. Because there was a reference at Invictus Launch Week from an announcement over the loudspeakers that said that Anvil Aerospace is partnering with the UAE Navy to bring state-of-the-art technology. They're visiting, I forgot what the name of it was, the Keel system or something like that. It was essentially they're going to a place that is only being like the headquarters of the UAE Navy, which is where you go to build capital ships. So the theory was, including myself, that Anvil is building a capital ship, and they're going to sell concept at CitizenCon, and they did. But it wasn't the capital ship that we thought it was going to be. So
I see. You think this is what they were talking about, though? The Liberator?
Yeah, I think this is what they were talking about, the Liberator.
Yeah, I think I remember hearing you guys were talking about this. I was a little curious too. What happened to the variant?
What variant?
The one that was talked about, the unique variant that we've been hearing about in the last reports.
Yeah, there's been a new. I think it's an IL. I think it's a.
I think it's an IAE thing.
Yeah, I think it's an IAE thing. Yeah.
Okay.
They didn't. They wanted to spread it out.
Yeah.
I was hoping they'd do 2 ships here and 1 ship there, but I guess they're gonna do.
I think they're gonna do 2 ships.
There.
You think they will? Yeah, our IAE, because if they did 2 ships here, 1 concept, 1 straight to flyable.
Oh yeah, they did do 2 here.
Yeah. And then they'll do, cause that's usually what they do for CitizenCon, and then I think they'll do 2 ships at IAE, but we'll see. All right.
I know we've seen the leaks for it, guys. I'm talking about official reveals.
I stay away from
the raft.
Oh, yeah. Talk about okay.
No, the Argo, or rather the MPUV with the mining arm.
With a mining arm, yeah. I don't think that's a mining arm. I think that's a refueling arm. I think it might be also a repair arm. I don't know. It may be just a utility arm. You know. That's
why the official reveals help a lot.
Yeah. I was just saying that it'll be fully functional.
Yes, 100%. All right, next question comes from Jock Cop, who asks, is there anything from this digital CitizenCon that you would like them to take forward into live ones? The community content, for instance. Is there anything from this that you'd like to see in a live CitizenCon next year?
Oh, well, the costume concept. But they do that every year. So that's a given. The ship talk presentation for whatever. Well, I guess that's a given too. Pretty much everything that they've done, they've done in the past for me anyway. That I would like. They have a Tony panel, a ship talk panel, and the gameplay presentation. Everything else is like, yeah.
How about you, Space Mano? Anything you see from this that you'd like to see in live?
To be honest, I think we're at the point where they can do all of their demos pre-recorded. I think they should do what they did with this one, pre-record it, but maybe have them talk over it live. But I like the no problems, very straightforward, very clean run that they were able to do in the gameplay demos, especially. As fun as it is for us to crash out and prove that it's live and everything's working and have a good laugh, it's just nice when it all goes more smooth like that. That really, I think.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go. I was gonna.
Okay, I was gonna say, even though when they did pre-record it, they still had some glitches.
Just can't get away from it.
They had the body ragdoll animation was kind of.
Oh yeah. That kind of stuff's fine, but like no crashes. They didn't have to do console commands to get back to where they were, anything like that.
Yeah.
And I like that. and I think that allows them to explain more because they know exactly how things are going to go down and they don't have to be thinking on their feet. So I liked that. Honestly, though, I don't think there was too much else here that they did differently that I would take away and bring back to the other cons because I actually kind of like the format of other ones a little more than this one at times.
I will say,
I changed my mind. I want to bring back one more thing. That long awkward pause Jared did in the middle of the show.
yeah,
Before PTU went live.
yes. I will say I think the pre-recorded has a place, but I think like this is fan fiction at this point. So just bear with me on this one. I think every CitizenCon needs to have a vertical slice, like they do with their demo. It's basically what their demo is. But that vertical slice should hit every single topic they're going to talk about on that day. So I think what they should do is they should do a live demo for the keynote, for the beginning, and then have several versions of that live demo that were pre-recorded and created to piece apart and to be put in on the panels to show like, oh, this is how we made this part of the live demo, or this is and then here's this run through to show that you can do it different ways. Thank you, Trip, by the way, for that raid, and have a good night, everyone from Trip Stream.
See you later, Trip.
So, but yeah, so but I also like the community content, the community commercials. I like that. I think they should do more of that, because I think those were cool. There's a lot of cringe, try hard stuff in that, which is fine. I mean,
yeah, I was gonna say that's fine.
So I'd like to see more diverse. Like I liked the random beer commercial in there. And I like the Dumpers Depot commercial. I like the Big Bennies. Yeah. I'd love to see like ship or weapons. Like we don't really have any commercials for like, Castac Arms or gosh, what am I trying to think? Something defense, Clark Defense Systems.
Garrity. Oh,
you know, or like Klaus and Werner. You know, we don't have those kind of things. So
they didn't show it because during the Bond Citizen on Friday, they sold 42 commercials from the community, but they got loads more that they didn't show. So maybe they do have it. They didn't show it.
Possibly, yeah.
Paul, but I agree with you in terms of how they should format the CitizenCon. Like if we're going on to what they should do, that's what I thought they might do this year. I was hoping that they would just take what we will know in a year from now and talk about how every team is touching that, whether that's through Quantum, Gen 12, Planet Tech, AI. Like that would be great. Just show us a slice of what Star Citizen is going to be, include the new tools, new mechanics, whatever it is that could work, that will be working in the next year. And then for the panels, have them go into what we saw and like rip it apart, and tell us what it is that they did that made it so special. That would be really nice.
Yeah. I mean, I think those panels can, I'm a big guy about theming. So like, if you have something that's this vertical slice of everything that's supposed to be in the near future or in the next year, then those panels should be connected to that in some way. Either a piece of it needs to be part of that live demo or something else, just because it'll reinforce all of the discussions that people are having about the live demo, because it's always tying it back to that live demo, and the developers going, this is where the game is going to be next year. This is where it's going to be, because otherwise you get it's fake like comments. It's like, no, here is the part in the game where we built this section, and it's built off of these tools. Like I think the closest they came to that was the tool they showed of like developing outposts, where they can just plop down fully created outposts and stuff like that.
Yeah. And I was going to say that the nebula creation too. That was in the first part as well, right? How to make nebulas. Oh no, the jump point. That's what it was. Jump point.
And they talked about clouds as well. They did it with clouds. I thought they would do it. It was so weird to me that they didn't do it with the space stations and the outpost when they were talking about that leading up to the gameplay. I thought they were going to show us like, oh, here's what we did to build the space station concept and all this stuff and the paint and everything. But then like they didn't really jump into the engine to show us that. And that's kind of what you're talking about. I was hoping that they would, show us, hey, this is what we did, and then go and show us the gameplay and be like, this is how it looks in the overall build. But I guess there wasn't any space stations in the gameplay, so.
Yeah, I'm assuming that there wasn't. They haven't finished them yet. That's one of the reasons. So,
which is, again, that I want to be. I don't want to be frustrated about that, but at the same time, I'm like, they've been working on Pyro for over a year, and they don't have any of the space stations done.
Yeah,
I get Ruin Station not being done, but
yeah. Well,
we had derelict space stations on the roadmap in 2018, I think.
Yeah, I think I honestly think that Ruin Station is going to end up being just a heroed up derelict space station. I think that's what's going to happen. I mean, we'll see, but well, yeah, no, I don't know how to answer that other than like the content is great, but like there is so much that was wrong with this CitizenCon that has to do with its format and not meeting the previous CitizenCons. But I'm okay with the limited scope.
To be fair, this was their first time doing a digital one, right?
Yeah, it's the first time they ever did it. That's just the reason why I'm like, I'm not shitting on the people who worked really hard on this. And I understand it from I sympathize, I empathize, because as an editor who is a poor editor, but I do it. I know that instinct to just, I need to make this better, but I don't have the time. I don't have the 20 hours I need to make this pop. So we're going to get an awkward cut of Chris Roberts' face. Zoomed in on his face.
Is that a meme on Reddit, by the way?
It might as well be now, you know. Yeah.
I'm going to make a shirt with that. I'm just going to buy a shirt with a giant...
the giant Chris Roberts face.
Yeah.
All right. Next question comes from Shady Phase, who says, since the Liberator is a space LCAC, and those are deployed from amphibious assault ships, is it possible that the ship being built from Anvil for the UEE mentioned in lore last IAE or Invictus could be a planetary assault ship that could carry multiple Liberators? No, I don't think so.
Multiple Liberators.
That would be huge.
Right?
Woo!
I mean, if this is the Q ship, what would that be?
That would be like the Infinity in Halo dropping out the freighters from the bottom of it. These giant.
Yeah, that's what it would be. I really think that the LCAC is probably more of a hybrid, or the Liberator is more of a hybrid LCAC LHD. It's both. It's an amphibious assault ship, but it's also a drive up into the front lines sort of like amphibious boat, which is weird, I know, probably to a lot of Marines, because no Marine would want to take their LHD into combat, because that sounds like suicide. It would be like, the equivalent would be like rocking up into a battle with a whole sea. Like why? You just want to die? Because it's not really, those ships aren't really designed to be combat ships. They're designed to be logistic ships, essentially. And so the idea of throwing your logistic ship onto the front lines to roll tanks right off of it is terrifying.
Yeah.
So,
I'm trying to think of like other fictions where you see stuff like that. I'm thinking of Star Wars, how they had like the changed drop ships where they would drop the ATSTs down and fly away. Those were so fast, but this is like, you got to land, you got to sit there. Everything needs to roll off. It feels like you'd be sitting around for a while with a ship like this.
This is,
I
mean,
mean, you have the Death Star,
yeah.
and ships can come out of the Death Star, and ships can come out of those ships. So,
yeah. Also, people are saying the Argo personnel carrier, the Argo, the MPUV-P would be a perfect ship for this, and I realized it would be. It would be Starship Troopers, throw 16 people, because it can hold like 8 people in those drop ships. So you could carry a lot of those drop ships. You open that bay open, support with like a Redeemer,
it'd be like
it'd be like a scene. Gunships.
It'd be like a scene from Saving Private Ryan at the very beginning.
Yeah.
How many will survive?
See you on the beach.
Wow.
I was actually, ironically, I was looking this up. I realized people are saying it looks like a box, and I was thinking, like, why is there's a space carrier I remember from fiction. I remember what it was, and I was like, Macross, Robotech. They have the ARMD ships, which are basically flat boxes with engines on them that carry fighters.
Oh, okay.
And it's like, this is what it is. It's essentially CIG's version of the ARMD.
Like a little lunchbox for spaceships.
Yes. For those anime fans who are just someone out there is like Robotech.
Yeah, you said McQuarrie, I picked up and like I don't remember that, but okay, it's been a while since I watched that.
It's the little carriers that were there. Also the missile boats. Like they had versions that were carriers and they had versions that were missiles. So like those like boxes with like engines on them. They just got absolutely shreked in the first episode.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, like hundreds of them getting just swatted away. So yeah, it's like just like that. It works like that. It's that kind of ship. It's a box that has the ability to defend itself. All right. Next question comes from Midnight Black SC, who asks, do you think they learned the right lessons from Jumptown? And are you excited for version 2?
You gotta take this one.
Oh, God damn it. You don't want to hear my take.
I know Paul's going to have a lot to say about this, so I'll go first. Sorry, I need a little sip there. Did they learn the right things from Jumptown? I'm probably not the best person to answer this, to be honest. I don't know.
I'm definitely
I'm not gonna say it because I know Paul's gonna have a lot more insight on it, and I didn't pay enough attention to Jumptown to know what the real selling point of it was, so I'll defer.
Gin and Tonic is already on me because they know that what I'm going to say. I have an impossible dream. So I don't think they learned the right lessons from Jumptown, but not for the same reasons. I think CIG is obsessed with control, or Tony Z is obsessed with control, and they don't want to relinquish control of gameplay to players. And so I don't think it's not really Jumptown as much as that I don't think they fundamentally understand PvP gameplay. I think they fundamentally misunderstand it. And I hope that they learn about it, because I think their concept of PvP gameplay is that it's bad, and that it's bad because they can't control it. I think there's some elements which are okay. Like, I don't mind the NPCs shaking things up, but like, you need areas of chaos like that are designed for big groups of people to screw up other big groups of people. And that chaos and unpredictability is what adds to the fun. Like, no one wants to play DayZ where you're the only person on the server. That's just not very fun. The zombies aren't really a threat. It's like playing a game with bots. Like an early Battlefield game that has nothing but bots in yourself. It has its advantages, but it doesn't really give you the same experience. So.
Yeah, it's like in Halo. I was just gonna make a quick comparison. In Halo now, in Halo Infinite, they have amazing bots to play against. And I was like, I played the first game and I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I don't even need multiplayer. This is fantastic. And I did it for like 2 hours and I was having a blast. But then I got on the next day, played bots for a little while, but I was like, I want humans to play against. Like, you can still tell. Eventually it gets old and you kind of just need that, like you were saying, that chaotic nature of human competition. Yeah. So I get what you're saying.
I mean, like,
I was just
go ahead.
I was just gonna say I think CID may help if they watch this documentary I saw one time on Jumptown. It was done by a really great content creator. I don't know if you guys heard about it.
I know. I think this is the thing. Whenever I say I think CIG doesn't understand Jumptown, people say you want the exact same thing. I don't want the exact same thing. I want something that would be boring. The exact same thing in Jumptown is boring. I want the experience to be similar, though. It's like, I don't want every Halo game to be the same Halo game. I don't want every Call of Duty game to be the same Call of Duty game. I want something different, but I don't want Halo to suddenly feel like Battlefield. I don't want Halo to suddenly feel like Squad. It would make no sense as like a Arma game. It doesn't work like that. I'd want to play Arma if I want to play Arma. So I don't want when you say something that's like Jumptown 2 and you're focusing it on PvP, it feels weird when you say, "Oh, this is focused on PvP. Let's add more NPCs." Like that's not the game then you're just making a ground version of Xenotech or Xenothreat or the lockdown or the lockdown. It's like it's just another one of those things, which is fine, but like don't patent it as that. Like a great example of like mixing PvP and PvE is Titanfall, where if you're not a very good pilot, you can just absolutely farm those NPCs. You can just absolutely go to town on those NPCs. They're not very good, but if you don't pay attention to them, they can group up and kill you. You know, they're dangerous in numbers. They'll be back in bigger numbers. You know, and
it does suck when you have like the pilots on the other team though that ignore the NPCs and only go for you.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So like I can see that dynamic where it's like you're not a complete useless because you're helping out by clearing out the NPCs. And it adds some dynamics to it, but like shifting the focus away from PvP to PvP plus PvE can make that kind of thing a little bit less fun because it's going to give the indication that it's more of a PvE rather than PvP.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I'm still worried that about them not kind of fundamentally understanding about that.
Do you think they might ruin it by trying to make it an event that everybody can play and not just settle for the fact that not everybody should be taking part in this?
Yes, I think that's the case. I think they're going to try to make it so that it's accessible to everybody. And I'm for accessibility, but there also needs to be high level content that some people just can't do.
Yeah. I think the accessibility should be through choice, not necessarily through just making everything accessible to everybody.
Yeah.
Give everybody something. Don't give everybody everything.
Yeah. But we'll see. Like I'm still hopeful because it seems like Jumptown 2 is still far ways away. So I'm hopeful that they'll take in some more criticism. I feel like they're gonna.
They seem like they have their mindset to me from that presentation,
which is sad, but I hope they learn the lesson.
Do you disagree?
When it well, I mean, I agree with you. Like they might be sad, but I just say that's. I hope they don't.
Sounds further out than I thought it was.
Yeah, but I don't think it's coming out this year.
It doesn't sound like a this year event.
Yeah. The quote unquote great thing about reading about Jumptown and lore is knowing that I would never been able to participate. The fact that I died soon as I entered the vicinity. I don't know. I think I think like knowing that it's an event that's chaotic and knowing that what you're getting into is a thing about that. Like I always feel like PvP will always need to be a thing, and there needs to be places that are focused on PvP. And it may not be Stanton. I think like Pyro is a good example of that where I think it's going to really shine. But I am always concerned when I see Tony, like the way Tony Z talked about PvP and the way he talked about Jumptown was it was worrying because it feels like they are trying to control the chaos, which, doesn't work. It's.
I mean, and Tony Z and Chris Roberts, they don't seem to have controlling personalities to me. That seems. No, I'm kidding.
Like, yeah, I don't know. I disagree that it shouldn't be a dynamic event, though. I think it should be a dynamic event. I just think that the way that they're going about it seems off, But we'll see.
Well, does it worry you that they say that if you buy certain drugs, that'll start off the next Jumptown, or if you do
not at all? I love that idea.
Okay, you're okay.
I love that idea. Yeah, I love that idea that like it's set up to, that like it will just automatically spring on you. I just wish it was a little bit more planned. You know what I mean? Like there was a little bit more of a way to let people know that it's going on, rather than just kind of.
Pretty sure like a pop-up mission will pop up whenever it starts.
Yeah,
or something like that.
not, I don't necessarily mean a mission, but like an information, like going through a journal or being able to be told by an NPC or getting a contact saying, "Hey, this is a deal that's going on right now," so that it's at least somewhat inside information, but it would still for the right people, but it would still move people towards that area, you know. Anyways, moving on. Next question comes from No Moz, who asks, "What do you think about the new 4 ships we can vote on? Which one will you vote for and why?"
I need to bring that up again.
Those were the Carrack-sized exploration ship made by Misk, the Anvil ground vehicle, or not Anvil ground, but a ground vehicle, a hover vehicle, and what was the last one?
The space bomber.
The space bomber, yeah, like a mini version of the A2.
Yeah, I'm looking it up now, and you know, when I saw it during the presentation, I'm like, none of these really interest me. I mean, the ground vehicle kind of does, but it's not something that I would buy using money. I would probably get it in game. So yeah, none of them really struck my fancy. Um, I've been trying to consolidate my fleet. I've melted my ground vehicle, so I still have an Ursa because it came with the Aquila. But all my other ground vehicles are on my buyback. So I think we have enough explorers, in my opinion.
So I'm
So
laughing
not,
because Space Tomato just gifted a bunch of subs and said, "Wow, great show! Loving the show. Keep it up. Here's the sub. Thank you, Space Tomato Gaming TV." Did you all know about Space Tomato Gaming? Gaming, you should be following him on Twitch and YouTube.
I'm like a really pleased viewer.
So yeah, the explorer ship, the ground vehicles, the hover vehicles, and the bomber, none of those really interest me. So I may pick one up in the PU.
What do you? I'll go really quickly. I know I will say the same joke I've been saying forever. All of those ships will be made, and the ship that'll win, which is going to be the Explorer, is going to be made last. It's going to be made maybe next year. So for all of you who are like, "Oh, I'm going to vote for this Explorer," it's like, why are you even voting? Almost all of those ships are going to be made. Some of those ships are probably already being made, like the rumored Achilles Star Bomber from Crusader has been around. That's been rumored, has been around forever, and it's like that's definitely the mini bomber. They just already made it, and we're trying to give people a heads up.
And the ground vehicle on there is one of the ones they've been talking about in the monthly report. Like, yeah, we've been working on ground vehicles. Hey, you guys want us to make a ground vehicle?
It's an Anvil APC or something like that. It's that last one they showed is one they've already made because it looks the most fleshed out. I'm like, yep, that's the one they already made. So, like, yeah. But yeah, that's the link. What do you think, Tomato?
Basically the same. Where was the link? There it is. Basically the same as both of you. The Explorer ship is obviously going to be the most interesting one from all of these. To be honest, it's a weird choice because like hover vehicles are broken.
Yeah.
Bombing is brand new. Like we don't even know how bombing really functions yet because we just got it with the A2. Ground vehicles are meh.
They're
cool.
Too many right now. We have too many as right now.
And I know that they said they want to have hundreds of ground vehicles at one point, like they want to flesh it out. I don't think the ground vehicles, they're clearly focusing a lot on planetary gameplay right now. I don't think the ground vehicles are super important, but none of these things are super into what's going on in the game right now. So I'm wondering if maybe these are the directions that we can expect them to start to go in. Maybe they're looking into improving the hover tech like they wanted to a couple years ago. Maybe they're going to focus on building bombing missions into some of the settlements we might see. Maybe these explorer ships are going to be more important in Pyro because they're going to have these derelict space stations and stuff. So I think these could be hints at what they're looking to develop towards. But I wouldn't put any stock towards getting, like you said, the top ship that we want anytime soon.
Yeah, it's a big. If it's the size of a Carrack, it's going to take a Carrack amount of time, and that means that it's got to get in line behind the Polaris, the Banu Merchantman, this
the
Perseus, the
Endeavor.
the Endeavor. Well, the Endeavor's not going to come in for a long time. But I mean, like even the Liberator. I keep saying the Valkyrie because it's the Valkyrie Liberator.
The same way.
Yeah, the Liberator. All of those 4 ships are going to get made before this Carrack-sized Misk exploration ship's coming out, and that's 3 years away. So, like,
have a good explorer ship though.
Yeah. So, make some roads. Yeah, they're gonna make roads. That's part of the tech that they're working on. So
I'm really excited, to be honest, for the ground gameplay. Like I said, maybe they're focusing on it a lot. I would love to see more specialized ground vehicles that are doing that kind of stuff, but it feels kind of like the ground vehicles aren't pushing that forward. They just made another mining vehicle. The G12 is another rover.
Mm-hmm.
They don't feel all that specialized yet.
A Phantom. That's not the new vehicle, by the way. That's Rock and Rock DS. That's what you're seeing in there. Go ahead, Fastcart. Sorry.
Face Tomato, you ruined my timing. I was gonna say, where we're going, we don't need roads.
There we go.
Sorry to get in the middle of that. that was a good time for one. We don't need roads either. We got spaceships.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. So Alcinor asks, with the BMM being a rare ship in lore, when we are able to purchase it in game, will we have to go to Banu Space and find a shipbuilding Suli to purchase it? I think so. I think that's one of those things.
I don't know. We probably have to go to Banu Space, but we might have to like get reputation with whoever has the out. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be one of those kind of things.
I think you can get them pre-built. Yeah. I think you can get them built.
Most reputation in order to get it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. And I think you can get them built, but I think you'll get them built from scratch. Like, go get the reputation for the Suli. You come back, you have enough reputation for the Suli, you pay them the money, and they'll say come back in a week and we'll have it for you, or something like that. Like
you think it could take a week? I think it take longer than that, but yeah.
Well, I mean,
maybe gameplay wise, yeah.
Yeah, gameplay wise, yeah. Thank you, Fist Joe, for the new layouts. But yeah, with it being rare, definitely going to have to do that. We've got a lot of people who've donated here, by the way. It's Lebowski, $20. Dudes Abide, this fundraiser man, thank you. Scorp for that $20. Tomat with that $10. And Enroll MC for that $20. For a great show, Paul. Thanks. Tomat said hi, and Lebowski said the dude abides this fundraiser, man. Thank you. We're at $1,283.61. Trying to get to 15K, and we're still raising money. I forgot to end the giveaway. Oh, that's okay. I'll do the next one. I'll end it at the end of this one for the 100.
Yes, I did that so many times yesterday.
Yeah,
I almost ended my whole stream, and people were like, well, "What about the ship, dude?"
I just want to make sure you say 15K or 1,500. Your goal.
It's 1,500. My brain is still already shot. I've only been.
Yeah, I can tell.
15K would be quite the goal.
We're giving away an 100i, not the NPUV, so I'm gonna turn off that giveaway. Command. This is from CIG. They gave it to us to give it away. So LTI, NPUV, starter package, exclamation mark, raffle, space, however many you want to put in there. All right. With that being said, let's move on to the next one. We still got 22 questions, and I've got 15 minutes. I think we talked about the BMM increase. We talked about it, that it's going to go up in price.
Yeah.
We'll get that done. Thoughts on the lacrimation of Theaters of War. I'm going to reject that. We already talked about that. Why is there an option to vote for a new Explorer ship when they haven't even finished the Corsair yet? Because we already talked about it. It's because, it's coming way after. It's going to coming way after the Corsair. It's just them showing you that they're going to have a ship at some point.
They gotta make money, right?
Yeah. About the Dur.
They just released the 400i before they finished the Corsair too. They just do that.
Yeah. I'm gonna skip that one. Question about if they would do NFTs in the pitch. Probably. If Star Citizen were being kickstarted today, would it have NFTs in the pitch? It's like, yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, today, yeah.
Thank you. Oh, geez. Okay. Midnight Black SC donated $20. Fist and Jawa donated $25. Fistandjawa.org. Fantastic group. They'll be on here shortly. Glitch Goblin donated $20. You know, yeah, you got some good stuff. Thank you guys. Okay. I'm trying going through a lot of these things.
Hit us with the good one.
Yeah, I'm hitting it with the good ones.
And just because your question was skipped doesn't mean that the question was bad. It's just not as good.
Oh, yeah. It means it's terrible. It means Paul hates it.
Well, it's like this joke. Senalaya, given that it's an imminent release, I was surprised the Reclaimer wasn't mentioned. Astropop, who did you bribe? Jared. With pizza. That pizza in the background, that was me.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. That explains it.
I'm spreading false rumors. No, it didn't actually happen, please. Please don't tell that's Jared. I don't want to get in trouble. Okay. Can you please explain the cult of the BMM? It's the cult of the BMM. Like why so many people like the Band of Merchantmen.
No.
It's because it keeps getting bigger.
For me, it's one of the. I came in 2014, and it's one of the ships that I came in on, and I didn't get it in 2014. I probably got it in the next year because I was thinking I was going to put that much money into the game. Look at me now. But for me, it's not just the size. I like the concept. The original concept is it's going to be a marketplace bazaar. And that would be perfect for the type of gameplay. Because I'm going to make stuff in my Endeavor and sell it on my Band of Merchantmen. And that would have been perfect. So when the Kraken Privateer came out, I would say, that may be competition for the Band of Merchantmen. And then I saw the price, and I was like, okay, I'll just keep the Band of Merchantmen.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's the best way of describing it. It has the same thing as the Carrack. The Carrack was like the exploration ship that everyone wanted. So it was the perfect ship for exploration, and then it kept getting bigger and changing around, and people were like, "Oh, this is the great ship." Like the Merchantman, the Merchantman is the same as the Carrack in that same way. It's that same kind of mentality where it keeps getting bigger and stuff added to it becomes better. Like it's a very useful 890. It's like a very useful 890 jump.
I wish Griffin was here to hear that one. I'm going to use that later on Soul Citizen. Thank you.
Yes. Well, because the 890 doesn't have like the Band of Merchantmen has got the big guns, the big fuck you guns on it.
Oh yeah, the ones from the freaking concept art where the guns are like a quarter the size of the ship.
Yeah,
that's one thing they didn't address. The gun and the big front gun. They didn't address that. Like I want more information about that.
Yeah, so that's the kind of an example. It's like you've got big guns, lots of guns. It's got a hangar to carry a defender, which means you can carry other ships as well. It has lots of cargo space. It has its own bazaar, like marketplace. It's got beds. It's got a weird design. It's like a cool, unique kind of look. Like it's all that sort of
medical facilities.
Yeah, it has a medical facility on board. At least we saw through.
I didn't know about that.
So,
super ship.
Yeah, it's the Carrack Mark II. In terms of like best ship, it's a slightly better. It's a much better Carrack. It's got a bigger cargo bay and bigger.
Much bigger.
Yeah, and bigger hangar bay and everything. So it's the Carrack on steroids. So yeah, that's the reason why that whole thing happened. That whole like cult exists around it. All right.
I mean, I think whoever calls it the cult is probably a Polaris owner.
All right. Hellcat1137 asks, lots of people really like that the Perseus has a low crew, but isn't it a downside as you have less people to repair, battle against borders, etc.? Do most people not realize this downside? Well, no, because the crew isn't a requirement. You can have more than 3 people on board. In the future,
given that the life support system can support it,
yeah, I think the life support system will be able to support more people. It's just for less time. So like, its max crew is I think 5 because you've got the pilot, the remote turret gunner for like the PDC, the 2 size 7 turrets, and the torpedo operator. But you can effectively man it with 3. I think that's the real reason people like it is because it's the flexibility. You can carry
And
more
it's
people if you
also
want to.
that the downside of that is still a downside. Like you said, it's not that it's not a downside. It's just that some people might outweigh it with more positives for their specific positions. And that's kind of, I hope that at least that's something they stick with while they build these ships, is build them in a way people can use them in different ways, so they honestly get into arguments about how useful they are.
Yeah.
If
Fast
we're
forward,
arguing about it, that means I think it's pretty good.
What do you think? Do you think people don't realize how important it is to have multiple crew members?
I'm in that weird place, and Griffin and I debate about this constantly. I don't have enough people to crew my merchantmen, so I'm looking for getting AI NPCs and AI blades to help me out. Um, so I'm okay if it doesn't have that much that much of crew need, because that means I don't need as many people to run it. But yeah, it is a downside, but I'm looking forward to the more to the upside.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we covered it. By the way, thank you, Ferrister, for gifting $100. Gin and Tonic
Ferrister.
gifting $50, and then Bijan gifting $1.39 to get us exactly to $1,500.
I was looking at that. That's just
Yeah.
300.
Nailed
Bad.
it. Killed it, dude.
There we go. We're going up anymore.
That.
We're going up again.
And it was done in big blocks. So that means that just demonstrates the power of Fast Cart and Space Tomato in Griffin Gaming.
Yep, there we go. Now we're gonna go to 2,000. We're gonna end up raising like $10,000. I'm gonna be sitting here going, "I am so tired. You are so generous. I am so tired."
I love you all.
So yeah, that's awesome. All right, so let's move through. God, we've got 5 minutes. Or are we over? I don't know.
Just leave right now if you want to. No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
Actually, we started late. We deserve more time. Okay.
Yes. I'm trying to double check the show board and everything.
Okay. Tell you what, Paul. You appreciate that. We can compromise. You can go for the 3/5 of the time.
Well, we're gonna have, so this next one's gonna be a little weird because we're gonna have Fist and Jawa here for like an hour, and then we're gonna have Captain Richard, who's gonna show up about an hour late. So, because he had other things he had to do, he miscalculated it himself. So yeah, we'll be fine a little bit if we start a little later. So,
why don't we just bring in Fist and Jawa for a little hybrid section here?
There we go. Well, there's 2 of them, so we didn't have enough space for them. True. Yeah. So,
I'm the red shirt.
You know what? I'll bring them in audio wise. Let's add them to the.
I was gonna say I'm the red shirt, so I can be the sacrifice.
Fist and Jawa. There we go. I'll add them to the call so they can hang out in the audio. All right. So Yinzer asks, do you think with quite a few people's ships getting point defense turrets that CIG might go back and add the PD to the older ships?
One. I mean,
the Phoenix, maybe. I think that I might have made it in the Phoenix. Hey, Fist. Hey, Jawa.
Hey, buddy.
All right, so we'll move on to the next question, and I'll ask Fist and Jawa this first, and then we'll move on to the next one. Fist and Jawa, just wondering, what's your favorite video from the community video showcase? So, Fist, what was your favorite video?
Ooh, man,
from the community stuff.
Yeah, I'm thinking there was quite a few good ones.
Yeah,
it definitely wasn't Sleepless in Stanton.
Did they actually show Sleepless in Stanton?
Yeah, they showed that one.
I love it. I love that one. That's so bad. It was so good.
You know what? We as soon as we heard Space Tomato's voice, we're like, "Oh, Space Tomato!" So
yeah,
that was my favorite one.
Yeah, actually,
I was
mine too.
I really did not want to do my voice in that.
Jawa,
yeah, I really enjoyed that one too. Yeah, there was just so many good ones. There was really, I can't remember which commercial it was.
Oh, Board Gamers was really good. The Kelto. That was really
Oh
cool.
yeah.
Yeah. But the one that featured the 400i, I like that one.
The one that came to mind for me, like I really need a supercut so I can watch them all over again because
Yeah, I need to see them.
I'm not remembering a bunch of them. But the Big Benny one and the Ultima one with the the awkward
Yeah.
smiles and everything like that.
Yeah. The commercials, like for the different stuff, was probably my favorites over the org stuff.
Org stuff,
Mhm.
yeah.
The in-fiction stuff was really good. I like that. It honestly caught me off guard sometimes. I was like, wait a second, is this part of the
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
the convention or
Exactly. I had the same problem.
Yeah.
What about you, Space Benito? Favorite? Other than your own.
I like the
can't
Big
choose your own.
Benny's one a lot.
The Big Benny's
I'm
one?
gonna choose my own. I like the Big Benny's one a lot. I also liked the arts and crafts, Haskaha and his crew, what they did. The one that we did for GII, I do need to shout out the folks who put that together. I actually didn't have much to do with that besides the voice. I didn't have much of the time. I kind of just did some of the preliminary work, and they did most of it. But I got to shout out to Garden Interstellar. They did a great job. The media team, specifically Lord Skippy and Dead Set, put it together and got the people out to film it. And it came together really well. But I like the Big Benny's one, I think, the most.
Yeah.
Was there a Dumper Depot one?
Celebrated.
Oh.
Yeah, that was
there
that was
Dumpers Depot.
Dumpers Depot was made by Haskaha and the arts and crafts team.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Damn shame, the
another
damn
one I like.
shames and Haskaha. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was fantastic. I love that Dumpers Depot is immediately, no matter who does a Dumpers Depot commercial, it's always Texan. I'm like, why is it always Texan? Why is it always? Come on down to Dumpers Depot. We got a hot deal on some cool spaceship parts.
It's like that old freelancer commercial.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
It has to fit that tone, you know.
I don't know. Where can we see those
Where
vids
can we
again?
go see these videos? Oh man,
That's what Fastcar's asking. He wants to see all of the
Yeah.
supercuts. He wants to see them supercut together. You know.
They need to get them all together. We released ours on YouTube, but I don't know if they should release a playlist of them or something on their own.
They should.
channel.
They should. Yeah, they should. Yeah, they should upload them and put them in a playlist. That would be kind of cool. But anyways, I think I was probably gonna go with the Haskaha one just because it was so well done. Though I have to, I do have to shout out for the backspace. The backspace commercial was fantastic. Or the Parasite commercial, which was directly like Aliens. They redid the Aliens as Parasite. Was fantastic.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, so they use the exact same kind of tempo and beat of Parasite, or of Aliens, the Aliens like commercials or the Aliens trailer, but they did it to the in-fiction movie Parasite, which is the one where you got the eyeball for the helmet. That one, yeah. So.
Oh, okay.
They're on the
hold
CitCon.
on. And Ella said that they're on the on-site CitCon page. If you go to the bottom of the community, they have video showcase.
Okay, so yeah, you can go to the,
Oh,
to
yeah,
the
look at
CitCon page. So go to the citizencon.com page and go to the very bottom. So, all right, let's move on. Okay, this is a good question. I'm just gonna start with you, Tomato, on this one. How long do you think it will be before the clouds we saw in Pyro will make their way to Stanton, to like the terrestrial planets of Stanton?
I could see them coming in at the same time if they were going to be like, okay, because when they do the Planet Tech updates, they usually apply them retroactively as well. Sometimes they'll wait a patch, but I could see it being same patch or the next patch.
As Pyro? Or do you think
the clouds?
You don't think we'll get the clouds before we get Pyro on Stanton planets?
Oh, that's possible. That is certainly possible, but I could see them taking as much time as they need to get it done and saying, hey, this is just something that's going to come with Pyro. That way they don't really have to, they don't have to set themselves up to rush it or anything. It could come beforehand, but nah, I think that's something that we'll see come with Pyro, yeah. And most likely come to Stanton, the same patch or the next one.
Okay.
I
think... Go ahead.
Better to be surprised.
I have no basis to guess this one. I'm gonna just say 316.
316. Yeah, I would say something like 316, 317, or 318. Jawa, what do you think?
That's a big range.
Well, the problem is that like
next year sometime.
it's in the monthly report, in the latest monthly report, they specifically talked about doing a lot of work on clouds. It's obviously for CitizenCon, but like they did a lot of work for that, and I have a feeling we will probably see it sooner than you think, because that's something like they could just pop it into the game. They even talked about like rain clouds and working on the kind of lighting and shaders for that. So, and 3.15 has the new cloud occlusions stuff, so you don't have the fuzzy clouds as much anymore. So,
if we got clouds before 3.18, I'd be very, very happy. That'd be nice.
We'll see. Jawa, what do you think? When do you think we'll see those clouds coming to Stanton?
Stepped away.
Stepped away. Okay.
It's like,
Fist,
I can't answer this one. Too much pressure.
I don't know where he went.
What do you think, Fist?
Well, what 315 is going to have it in Broken Moon, right?
Yeah.
Oh, too late, Jawa. Well, 315's Broken Moon. I'm thinking, yeah, like 318 ish.
Yeah, because for those who don't know, they're using those on the actual 3D planet in the Broken Moon map. So that was a leak that came out. So,
you know what? Maybe let me change my answer. I think I think it'll get pushed out earlier, like 317. It's a good 6 months away, right? So,
yeah, that's a good 6 months.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, they already have some clouds on Microtech. So.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, we'll see. I think it's sooner than we think. That's one of those things, because it's the Planet Tech team that they'll just like something like 317 is like a week before 317 launches, and the Planet Tech teams are like, oh, by the way, we're clouds and planets now. Bye. You know, like they just drop that. You know,
I mean, they did pursue the planet in record time, and they said it was going to be a year or so away. They did in like a month.
Yeah.
A week, rather. Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to wrap up some of this stuff, because there's some of these like, what is your starship waifu and stuff like that. And what are the chances the Liberator and the Argo cargoes become ships you can lease and accept transport logistics? That's high. I think that's 100% going to happen, but we'll see.
Definite.
Yeah, definite. I'm watching the event on and off because of work, so I missed a lot. But I saw that some of the graphics engine part of a PS5 and Xbox Series SX is Star Citizen coming to console.
Wait, what?
So in Tony Z's one, they had a PS5 in the background, I think, or something like that. There was some there where PS5 was shown, or Sony was shown, or PlayStation was shown somewhere. I don't remember.
Well, back in 2014 and 2015, Chris was playing around with VR. So,
yeah, I mean, if
they always have hardware in the background and doing stuff like
chat
that.
might be able to help with that whole thing. I don't know. There was a PlayStation item in the render pipeline, Q pipeline. I can guarantee you that Star Citizen, or at least Squadron 42, will end up in PlayStation or Xbox.
Theaters of War. Woo.
It's gonna happen.
That would be really dumb for them not to put that on console.
The question becomes when, and I think the answer is after Squadron 42 is released, they'll port it, but they'll have a team port it for them. But I don't think it's gonna be soon. You know. All right, but PS5 just released, right? So it's got 5 years. So I think hopefully Squadron 42 is done in the next 5 years. I know that's a lot asking a lot, but we'll see.
Oh, please.
Tomato, you broke him.
Rough Galaxy. Okay, so I'm going through some of this stuff. Do you think CIG is getting better at designing spaces for ships' interiors?
Yeah.
Yes.
Heck
Easy.
yeah.
Easy.
Like
yes.
looking at the 400i interior compared to the 600i interior is just like, holy crap.
Yeah. Why didn't they give the Liberator a refueling capability? Because then it would infringe on other ships. It doesn't need to be an everything ship.
It's not a bad invention.
Be like a crucible, getting into the crucible territory there.
Yeah, I think you could probably still manually refuel it if you have the fuel on board. I think something like that. Like,
I mean, it carries 400 SCU.
Yeah, some of that's got to be fuel, you know. So, okay, we're now down to 6 questions.
Hey.
Do you think the 600i will change now that the 400i is released? Yes. Or how do you think? How do you think?
Yes.
How do I think it'll change? How do y'all think it will change? Because I think it's going to get the 400i treatment. It's gonna because the interior is going to be completely gutted and reworked.
Even like the
more narrow. Go ahead.
Even like the color white they use feels like it's different in the newer Origin ships. It just it looks less plasticky. It looks less sterile. The 400i feels more like a luxury ship than just like a clean ship. I think they'll definitely take a lot of what they learned from making that sort of stuff and putting it into the 600i and making it feel a little more friendly while still being luxury.
That's been my number one complaint about the 600 series. It's just too clean. I'm worried I'll be tracking dirt on my shoes or something.
Fist, what do you think? Do you think the 600i's? How do you think the 600i is going to change under the 400i's out?
I think so. I really like the clean look, to be honest. I think they'll rearrange the way things are placed in there, and I think the touring will get a lot more treatment than the Explorer version. But yeah, I mean, I like the 400i. I was flying it last night. I really like the way the panels are set up with like the buttons and stuff on the sides, and I think we'll see a lot of that coming in the 600, replacing those screens and panels. And yeah, I think it'll still be a beast of a ship. But my bigger question is, will we ever see a 500i?
We talked about that.
We talked about that before.
We think there are. Yeah.
Paul can have it. You can replay that conversation in the next episode, Paul.
Yeah. Jawa, what do you think? What do you think is going to change in the 600i now that the 400 is out?
I think there's going to be more windows, like on the sides, because with the 600, okay, the captain's areas, that's nice, but everything else is just kind of dank, and you don't have a view of the outside. Every single cabin in the 400 has some sort of window in it.
Yeah, nice windows too, like well placed and that kind of stuff. Yeah,
right.
I think the 600 is going to have an interior rework, but I also think the Starfarer is going to have an interior rework because their interiors are terrible. Like they need to kind of go through. The exteriors aren't so bad. It's just the interior needs to be reworked.
It's so bad.
One thing I hope they do with the exterior of the 600 is make it so the guns can be brought back in.
That's true.
So they don't have to be on the exterior.
Yeah. That'd be awesome.
I could see a change in the placement of the 600's guns too, though they are pretty Origin specific. The back, the one on the bottom facing forward, and the one on the back facing backwards.
Those turrets. Yeah.
That's become the Origin standard for turret placements because it happens in the 400. It's on the 890. So, yeah, we'll see. I think the interior is going to get reworked because to make better use of the space with still keeping some of that luxury elements. So. But also, yeah, the idea that those guns will go down and then deploy, and then you can put them down again, so they don't just get knocked off. The main guns of the 600 would be nice.
Yeah,
that's one thing that bothers me about the 400i is that turret in the back that seems to just be hanging there.
Yeah. Why did they do that? For Origin of all companies too.
Right? It just actually been knocked off.
All right, so. With full persistence, if someone logs off on your ship, does the sleeping body stay there? I think it does.
It sounded like what they were saying with the respawn is... Oh, this is asking about the body, not the actual logging, huh? I don't know about the body.
Let's talk about sleeping. So, like, if you're in a bed and you log off on a bed, does your body stay on that bed?
I'm gonna take
a little while
and draw dirty pictures on their face.
Yeah, the next thing they'll give us as a subscriber gift is a Sharpie.
Maybe they'll leave like a shell that represents you there or something. Maybe they'll persist your body there for a few minutes. I can't imagine they're just gonna leave your body there though the whole time you're flying that ship. That's a lot, especially with the bigger ships.
I think they will, but I think they may also do the timed logout thing. So after a time, it'll just get occluded. The question then becomes when you wake up again, what if you wake up at the same time somebody else does and that they logged out in the same bed?
Yeah.
That's the question.
And suddenly it sends you back to the hospital and you get screwed.
Because you the flied yourself,
Yeah.
I don't think that's in this version of persistence.
No.
This is way far out.
Jim Thompson is saying with full persistence,
Yeah, two objects cannot occupy the same space at the same time, so someone will have to go.
All right. Rough Galaxy asks, do you think that the development ideology is driving the game as a whole towards a culture of maybe not cooperation, but respectful interaction? The gameplay for players, yeah.
I don't think so. Because that the PvP aspect, that's not gonna work.
I think the movement of the gameplay is forcing players to think about their mortality more. Less aggressive. True. I think people are going to be more defensive and less aggressive. Unless you're absolutely aggressive and you're going to have to be overwhelming.
Some people just want to see the world burn.
Yeah, but you're gonna have to like seeing people, some people want to watch the world burn, but people are going to expect that. And if you're going to be aggressive, you're going to have to be pinpoint aggressive. You're going to have to be good. You can't just be aggressive. So I think I personally believe that we'll see the formation of cities once we have base building. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see the formation of natural cities where groups of people set up a base to take advantage of a natural resource, and other people will want to set up in the area, and they'll ask that group if they could set up near them, and then people will slowly, kind of a boom town will build around that area simply because people want protection and they know there's protection in numbers.
Jesus, Paul, you're making me moist, dude. Don't talk like this.
Well, I mean,
that's so good. How sounds like so much fun.
I mean, because like groups are going to like say test wants to come in and take advantage of this like oil resource or this resource that they need to mine, and somebody else wants to build a facility like a shop. They want to set up in that area because it's a nice area for them to go to. Are they going to build a small ranch in the middle of nowhere, or are they going to go near where Test is because they know Testies will defend the area? Yeah,
I mean, it makes sense. It makes complete sense. It's just like everything that we've experienced so far makes that sound like a dream. So when I think of that, I'm just like, man, that's why I back the game for stuff like that.
Paul, stop it. Base terminal can only be so erect.
Fist, you're a pinpointedly aggressive person. Do you think that the
what?
I've heard tales of your abilities to kill people.
Someone's surprised.
From Karen.
Karen has been telling tales of Fist.
Oh man.
Do you think that the way that they're building the game is moving people more towards either cooperation or just more respectful interaction?
Yes, because I've seen the trend of griefing go down.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. I think when people engage in PvP right now, it's more of just a fun thing, and it's not just because they're pissed off or something. And with the introduction of pyro and now that there's actually more things to do in the game, I think we're going to see that aggressiveness kind of downward trend we hit that point again where there's less to do again, and people are going to get bored, and then they'll just attack other players because there's nothing else to do.
I'm hoping we're at an end to that, and that the aggressiveness is going to be more of a directed thing. But I agree. If we hit that content gap again, we're going to see that come back. But
have you done the attack and defend missions yet?
I've tried, and my own side murdered me. So,
yeah, I did it yesterday, and I'm having a hard time telling the good guys from the bad guys.
Yeah.
So the very first person I shot was a good guy both times, and ended up with a CS5 both times.
Yeah. Is PvP a bad thing? No, we're not saying PvP is a bad thing. It's more of there's a difference between people shooting each other and people shooting each other because they're bored. People like Fist and Cobra and even Burks and those people who are PvPing are looking for like exciting adventure. They're not just killing people because they can.
Paul, on the topic of people working together more, I think something that we talked about a couple weeks ago, but a lot of people were like, were responding to this medical gameplay and stuff and being like, hey, you know, I don't like this. This doesn't sound like fun. I don't want to have to deal with a bunch of drugs and figure out what's going to work. I don't want to have to go to a hospital ship or like fly a hospital ship to keep me and my party alive. I don't want to deal with blood drug level. And we were talking about how like, it's good that some people hate that stuff, because if they don't hate that stuff, then they would do it for themselves, which means that the medics wouldn't be able to do it for them. And the same thing goes for people running cargo, people who are mining, people who are refining. As long as they keep bringing in these game systems that are actually kind of polarizing and getting people not to be super into them, I think every time that happens, it builds cooperation, because it means that more people are going to have to branch out to others to try and get their missions finished. And that seems to be what CIG wants to do. They want to force people to work together in order to get the best out of everything. So I do think it's going in that direction. Yeah.
Multiplayer game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that is very clear in CIG's direction, CIG's, the way they talk about the game. Play with your friends, or find friends or buy them. You know, you either find friends or pay for people to help you, you know?
Yeah, I tell you what, though, the Cuddy Red can remove drug levels. If people didn't know that, it can heal you, and for the most part, and you just can't fix a broken bone. Is really, it was so confusing of what each ship could do. And yesterday we had my friend Lucky. He pumped me up with as many drugs as he could. And
drug testing.
Drug testing. Now it took like 3 minutes to walk up the ramp of the Cuddy Red to get into the bed, but once I did, it was like 20 seconds, and I was back to completely normal. So
yeah, I mean, I remember we played yesterday, and we all got dropped, and Diablos was dropped, but in still gray mode. He was still in down state. And it took 30 minutes for someone to get to him, but by the time they got to him, they healed him up, and he was up, and he had no negative side effects, no 2 or 3 injuries. He was completely down and still didn't have an injury. So injuries, I think, are still more of a tertiary thing. I don't think it's something you're going to have to really worry about unless you're really aggressive. Kind of like how food is not really something you're worried about. If you just, as long as you stop by and pick up a hot dog, you're not going to run out of food. But if you're not paying attention to it, it'll sneak up on you. So, all right, let's move on to the last 2 questions. Admiral Kusanagi asks, do you feel that ships' quote unquote load capacity will come into play more for, say, the Liberator? Meaning, as you said, you could probably throw 12 arrows into it or similar, but wouldn't a ship thrusters and engines struggle to eventually and potentially fail? Yes, I think that's the case, especially with planets.
I say, but make sure you load up on a moon and not a planet or something with low gravity or someplace.
Yeah, or you could load up in situ. Like if you've got arrows, you take that thing off into space, and then you take the arrows up and then land it on top. And then in space, you don't have to worry about that so much. It might slow you down a little bit here or there, but you won't really worry about that. And then before you land, you take those arrows off to cover your landing.
Yeah, problems when you forget and fly into atmosphere somewhere.
Yeah, then you are a flying brick, and you're going to the ground very quickly.
Start dropping ships.
All right, and lastly we've got Gin and Tonic, who asks about the DUR. If jump points remain the same as was advertised long ago, they probably won't, and the features of the DUR remain the same, given the DUR's fuel load, range, and ability to navigate small jump points and refine its own QT fuel, how is it soundly beat by the 400? Because we don't know. The jump points are weird. The 400 has so many more exploration attachments. You can't put a cyclone into a Dur. You can't. But
you just wouldn't fit well.
No, I don't think you can. It's physically impossible to put a cyclone into
it doesn't
a
work.
No, I say if you start in half, you can probably put both ends.
Put both ends into it. It just like there's a lot more options. The Dur is good for one thing and one thing alone, and that's its endurance. But everything else about it is completely destroyed by the 400. It's bigger. It has more flexibility. It has even a mapping room, which the Dur doesn't have. And like it's in its function because it's supposed to compete with the Aquila. It's better. If you're just looking for a long range ship, yeah, the Dur's fine. But a long range ship does not mean it's an exploration ship. It just means it's a long range ship.
You can get a Dragonfly on the 400. I was wondering about that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Thank you, Jade.
People are doing it in the cargo bay, at least I've seen.
Yeah, it's cargo bay. Only the Nox will fit in the little.
Oh, I thought
X1
you were talking
bay.
about their. Yeah, okay.
The Dur. I've had this long conversation multiple times. As far as right now, as CIG, as far as I know, the Dur can refine QT fuel. That's an entirely different discussion because it is set as a refinery, and all refineries can refine all materials, including quantum fuel, because it's technically a refinery. Until it's clarified, it can do QT fuel.
The Dur also has 4 size 3s facing forward for the pilot.
Yeah.
Whereas the 400i just has the 2 size 4s. So,
yeah.
I mean, maybe a little bit more firepower for the Dur.
Well, you also have the 2 pilots to 2 size 3, the 2 size 3 for the 2 turrets on the 400i. So you've got.
I'm just talking solo play.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I could see that a little bit in terms of the combat, but I could still see the 2 size 4s being about the same as 4 size 3s.
Yeah.
You know. Also, if you're going with a Dur over for solo play, maybe, but there's just a lot more flexibility with the 400, and that's the thing. It becomes a choice, but I still think that the 400 is just straight up upgrade from the Dur.
Definitely, and it's prettier.
Yeah. I like. It's like I don't think it's even in the same class. Like it's a upgrade from the Dur, and it competes with the Dur, but it just destroys the Dur. It's pretty clear cut.
Paul, the documentation said to compete with the Constellation. We went over this before.
Yeah, but its stats doesn't compete with the Constellation. You know, so
it's a little more sluggish too. The 400's a little more sluggish, I think.
Yeah.
I only flew it yesterday, but it just didn't feel as agile as the Dur.
Something I noticed is
it's bigger.
Something I noticed about they said that in the Q&A for the 400i, it said that it's faster in a straight line than the Constellation. I looked at the ship spec page. The 400i is 3 meters per second slower than the Constellation.
Yeah. That's Matrix of Lies. Anyways, that's going to be it for us for Space Tomato and Fastcart. We also kind of have a little bit of hybrid with Fist and Jawa coming in. We have Fist, Jawa, and Captain Richard will be on here shortly. Captain Richard's going to be running a little late though. So thank you all, Tomato and Fastcart. Thank you for raising up to $1,500 for Doctors Without Borders for Medicine Sans Frontiers. So
of course. Thank the people.
Awesome.
Thank you, chat, for raising the money.
Chat.
We were just here to watch.
Thank you, chat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Paul, do you mind if I take us out?
Go for it.
Brand new mustard man.
I'll end it with that. There we go. Thank you, Fair I am already tired, and it's not even like I need more caffeine.
I'm just gonna give a good
Fastcart.
Tomato goodbye.
Thank you, Tomato.